Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Tech Clinic. I'm your host Yasar and our guest presenter host Brother Ghufran Shah will be joining us over the airwaves today on the line and not in the studio for a change. Let's bring him into the show. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam, Yasar. How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah, fine. And how are you?
Alhamdulillah, I've seen your du'as and you changed your accent slightly there in the introduction.
I always change it here and there. That's my
No,
style.
yeah, you're like a chameleon, the man of many voices.
I
The
guess.
voice of youth, I suppose. You can do that, subhanAllah.
Are you being too kind? So we've got a couple of questions. We'll go through them in a moment. Have you got anything else planned for us as well near the end of the show?
Yeah, we started off the very first show. I think there was a question about a media player, so I'll just give an update on my findings and a little toy I acquired a few weeks ago. And in fact, we've got more than a couple of questions. We've got 7 questions.
Okay.
Nice variety this week, inshallah.
Super duper. So let's go towards our first question then. I know most of our listeners and those of you guys either listen to us live now or listen to the YouTube recordings afterwards. You'd be waiting for most of these questions to be answered. So let's go towards them. Our first one is my MacBook is online, I think. The issue is that it's running really, really slow since last week. I have not done anything different on it, but it's just starting to run like this. Anything I do, no matter how small or big, the spinning ball comes up and what just goes round and round for some time. I have restarted it, turned it off and turned it back on after an hour, but it's still the same. Someone told me to use Time Machine. I have, I think, but it has not done much, or I just do not know how to use it. Could you help me, please?
Okay, inshallah, yeah. So a very rare occasion one sees a spinning wheel on the Mac, sometimes called the rainbow wheel, and it used to happen to mine a while ago, and that generally is a symptom of machines running slow, which could be due to one of 2 main reasons, I think. Either your hard disk is running really slow, or you're reaching capacity,
Okay.
or you're running low on RAM. Maybe you've got a lot of applications running. But the brother or sister is saying it's slow since last week. I'm assuming it used to be okay, and they've not done anything to it. So it could be even a task running in the background. Maybe they've installed some software, or they've been to a website and that's installed some spyware. So what I would recommend is they take a backup as soon as they can of their important files.
Yeah.
If you can't take a backup because they just see the spinning wheel, try a reboot, and if you can get into the operating system, then you can install a utility called Mac Keeper. It's a disk utility which will go and scan the computer for any inconsistencies and errors, and it will highlight those, and it will try and fix those as well. So before they do that, I recommend they get a backup of any important data as soon as possible, which they should be doing anyway. We spoke about that a while ago, about backup. So someone's recommended Time Machine, and indeed Time Machine is a very cool backup utility for the Mac. And what Time Machine does is, when you plug in a USB drive or even an Apple external USB drive, there's some software called Time Machine which will automatically back up the whole hard disk. So the first time you plug the drive in, there's some setup, and it gives you a choice of, do you want to use this machine for a Time Machine backup. So Time Machine is the backup software. It takes a backup every time something changes. So I think the person recommended that to actually take a backup. In the question they said, someone told me to use Time Machine. I have, I think. Well, the way to check is in the taskbar they'll see a circular arrow pointing anti-clockwise with some hands of time in there. And when they click that, it'll tell you when the last backup was run. So if one backup was run successfully, they'll see latest backup and then a date. That's really about taking a backup. So take a backup and then see if they can run this Mac Keeper. You can download that utility. If you can't download it from your browser because you get that spinning wheel, bit of a catch-22, try downloading it on another machine if you can, onto USB stick. Plug in the USB stick and see if you can read it off there. But it certainly sounds like something's running in the background that's in double quotes, hogging the resource of the machine. Hopefully it's not too serious. could be a failing hard drive, God forbid. So that's why I think we're recommending take a backup as soon as you can.
Okay. With Time Machine, obviously Time Machine cannot remove any sort of spyware or adware, any viruses, can it?
Correct. That's just purely a backup solution. So what they need to do also is in the top left-hand corner on the Apple logo,
Yep.
they click that, and the second option down is called Software Update. And if they click that, it'll tell them which updates they need on the machine. So there could be some extra updates for the OS. That's always recommended as well. So make sure they're on the latest version. So MacKeeper is one disk utility. There's something else called the Clean My Drive. Again, you can download that from the Mac Store and install those and just see if you can try and clean the hard drive. Also worthwhile checking how much capacity they've got left on the hard drive. Always a good thing.
Is it wrong to assume that MacBooks automatically update themselves, or the same like Windows, you have to actually go in and check for updates?
It's very similar. So when there's a new update available, the default there'll be on the taskbar there'll be an icon with a count on it, implying how many updates are available for all the applications.
Okay.
And they can see that setting in system preferences. You can see the software update setting. So I mean, this spinning rainbow wheel, it's very similar, I suppose, to the blue screen of death.
Is it?
That happens on the Windows.
Okay.
There's something happening that's not quite right.
Hmm.
And funnily enough, I've got a 2 terabyte disk in my iMac.
Okay.
Up until recently, I'm seeing performance degradation. It's running slowly. I'm seeing that spinning wheel, not very frequently, but I am noticing it more. So mine needs a clean up as well.
Okie dokie. Right, so let's move on to our second question, and totally the opposite, from a MacBook to a laptop. And the question is, I have a laptop that turns on, but goes onto a blue screen, which says Windows failed to start. A recent hardware or software change might be the cause. To fix the problem, insert the Windows installation disk. And the questioner goes on to say, I do not have any installation disk, and I have not installed any software recently, nor changed any hardware. Please help me.
Okay. Before I answer this question, funny story. We had in one of our customers' environments, they saw this message, and what actually happened was there was a security guard who would at night time would go around and remove memory from the machines.
Okay.
And we caught that on the CCTV, and whenever there's a change in the machine configuration, missing hardware, new hardware, a new disk, for example, you may see this message. But if you can't skip this message, and if it doesn't carry on to the operating system, that to me implies something's gone wrong or something's broken. It could be your hard disk has failed, or one of the actual controllers has failed. If it's asking you for the installation disk, then they really do need to get the installation disk. Now, when you buy a machine from a store, that generally comes with a recovery disk, or if they've done an upgrade to a new operating system, they should have the installation media with them. So without that disk or the recovery disk, they're pretty much at a standstill. They need to go to a store online and buy a Windows installation disk, and maybe try a reinstall of Windows. So again, when you see this, I hope the person did take a backup of their data. If nothing's changed, please help. Oh, would love to help you.
It's similar to the MacBook. It could be like you said, it could be a failing part as well. A hard drive or RAM, there's a possibility of that. Even though it says installation disk, but it's quite a generic sort of error that comes up within Windows, doesn't it? So
sure.
It doesn't narrow it down as it's per se.
Yeah. So what they could try and do is, if they have a friend who's got an installation disk, they could try putting that in and see if the machine boots off the disk. There are some diagnostics utilities you can download, so you can download those, WinTools for example, and put them on a USB stick, and if your machine can boot off the USB, the tools can run and do a scan of what's exactly happening on the machine. So it'd be interesting to get some more information on that particular person. Maybe they can email or put a message on the Facebook, more information on the type of machine they have. If it's a really, really old machine, then chances are something's gone. If it's a new machine, then this is very rare. tap on a new machine unless the parts failed, as you say. Or maybe even someone's taken out the disk. They should check if the hard drive's still there.
That's possible, yeah. Very possible. I mean, yeah, I guess at the end of the day, they could run through the diagnostic tools, or they could just take it into a local repair and get it checked in, see if it is a failing part or not, or if it just needs the installation discs. And usually, installation discs, if you don't get them with the computer, with some computers you don't these days, even laptops, they tend to make the recovery program on the computer itself. So you have to make the recovery disk yourself. If you don't, and if something goes wrong like this, they usually cost around about £40 directly from the manufacturers. So those are the options, I guess.
Indeed.
Yes. Let's move on to our next question, which is number 3. My iPhone has been completely silent since yesterday. I cannot work out why. Is there anything I have turned off that now it will not make any sort of sound at all?
Yeah, possibly. I'm smiling when I read this. On every iPhone, since its inception, there's a button on the side, on the left-hand side, when you look at the phone.
Yep.
It's like a little switch. Now, when you move that switch to the left, you'll see a red bar almost appear. It's like a red color. That means you're in silent mode. So, sorry for stating the obvious. If they enable that, so the phone is in silent, then they've just got to move it back so you can't see the red. If they are sure that it's not a switch problem and the switch is actually turned to ring, then they could go into the settings menu on the home screen, and there's a tab called Sounds, and on there you've got the ring slider. So maybe the ring slider is set all the way to the left, which would mean the actual volume is silent. So drag that bar or that icon all the way to the right, so it's blue, and increase the volume. So there's a couple of the obvious ones. We could try restarting the phone. So the button on the top, if they keep that depressed, and then they keep it pressed with a smile, then they'll see a message saying slide to power off, and power the phone off. Then turn the phone on by pressing the button. See if that makes a difference. If it still doesn't make a difference, then maybe you want to do a hard reset. So the way you do that is you press the button on the bottom of the screen, that round home button. You keep that pressed and the power button pressed together, and in about 10 seconds or so, they'll see the Apple logo. When they see that logo, let go of both buttons and let the iPhone start again. That should set the phone. So a number of ways of resetting the phone, which should fix the ringer problem. If it doesn't, then if the phone's under warranty, you can take it into any Apple store. Or you can go to the nearest one to Nottingham is the one in Leicester. You can call them and arrange a session to take the phone in. If it's under warranty, then they'll fix it there and then. They'll give you a replacement. So the warranty care, the actual service is really good from Apple. It could even be a hardware failure on the toggle. If you're out of warranty, then just check all these things.
Okay. Is there a silent mode within the iPhones as well? Actual mode, which is silent mode.
Yeah, sure. So in the settings, when you go to settings, there's an option called Sounds. When you press that, you'll see a slider, which is for the ring. So the ring and alerts, that's got to be all the way to the right, so it's blue.
Okay. And obviously, if it's the other way, then it's on back onto silent then.
That's right, yes.
Yes, let's move on towards our next question, and before I lose you again, we had this from a YouTuber. I think that's a right word for him. I appreciate your valuable answers for free, and need you to help to record a video game in HD quality direct from the console whilst playing. I have a PS3 console, HD TV, a laptop, desktop computer, HDMI cable, and an AV cable.
Yeah, interesting one. So the most common way of doing this is to get a camera, a HD camera, or even could be the camera off your phone, put it in a suitable position whilst you're playing the game, and then record the screen. You've got to make sure the lighting is okay. That's the most common way. You can get some TVs where if you're actually playing a PS3, it will give you a feature to actually record what's on the screen onto your hard drive.
Okay.
Only few TVs can do that, but pretty much what the person's going to have to do is to use the old school way of getting a camcorder or a webcam. If they've got a desktop computer and they've got a laptop as well, so if the laptop has a camera facility, maybe they can position it in such a way so that it's in front of the console screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting on the recording. But I wonder which game they're playing. I'd be quite interested in that.
Well, if you can let us know, that would be great. But there's loads of videos of people playing games, I guess, that are actually
Yeah,
available on
sure.
YouTube. So I'm guessing
Sure.
that's what it's linked to. That's what they want to possibly do.
Position the camcorder in a suitable location. So they've got a laptop and a computer, HDMI. Yeah, just thinking that's the only way really that I can think of.
For the time being, if we get more on that, we'll let you guys know. Let's move on towards the next question. I'm currently in my last year of secondary school, and I'm deciding on what to do in the future. I was looking at computer science as an option in further education. My question is, what kind of jobs and in what industry can I go into with computer science? Are my options open or limited? I just really need some advice on this, please.
I really, really love this question. This is the best question we've had so far, and something close to my heart. I'm over the moon the person is thinking about their future, and that the timing is spot on as well. The last year of secondary school, which they're probably gearing up towards the GCSEs,
Okay.
and we're looking at computer science. So computer science is if you are looking at a technical field, then computer science is the one to choose, I think, in my opinion. I did computer science at university. And they're looking at it at the secondary school time. There's many courses which are called information systems or computing and IT. They seem to be a bit softer, whereas the computer science will have that mathematical element. And so that kind of skill, if you do it at A-levels, then you've got a very good chance of doing a computing-related degree in university. Now, most degrees you do, as long as you're not going to be doing law or something that's specifically for that particular career. So if you want to be a doctor, you have to follow a certain path. You've got to follow medicine, and to be a dentist and a pharmacist, etc. You've got specific degrees you have to do. To work in the IT-related field, you really need to, if you do have a computer science degree, it really helps. It will help you a lot, because in your science degree, it will give you that kind of way of thinking, and in the world of IT, you're not bound to one industry. It's really you've got lots of options.
Okay.
You could be working in the financial sector, in manufacturing, in general business. So any computing-related degree will set you up for a number of options in a number of industries. So I think if they don't do computer science in A-levels or any kind of science, if they just go for, say, law, politics, and, say, economics, then that will probably not be able to earn you a degree in computer science or some kind of computing field, because you find many universities nowadays, for you to do a computer science degree, you've got to have at least one science. So you could do maths, physics, and chemistry in A-levels, and then move on to a computer science degree. So,
interesting.
In A-levels, when I did computer science A-level. The second year of A-level, very tough. You find it, if you can go through computer science A-levels, then you'll find the degree pretty, dare I say, easy, but you'll be used to that way of working. So options in the industry, I'd recommend that particular person, if they have the attitude to actually, or the aptitude to program, any programming language would be recommended. Specifically Java or C++, those kind of frameworks, technologies will give them that way of thinking. So it's very hard still to find good programmers. That's the kind of skill which is in demand, and it sets the foundations for a career in that computing. And question, what kind of jobs? Lots of types of jobs, technical jobs. You can go into project management, technical project management. You can go into and just be a developer, so you can have a career in programming. Or if you want to kind of move away and be more on the kind of architecture side, you could architect and build solutions. So computer science is a foundation. It's a fantastic foundation for a career in IT/computer science. If that person wants to put any more questions on the Facebook or even our email, please do, because I'd like to see them progress and have a successful career, inshallah. Finding good experienced Muslims in our field is still quite rare. In my travels, I see lots of Indians, I see lots of Europeans, very few strong senior Pakistani Muslims in our industry. So hopefully we can change that as we move forward.
Super duper.
Super duper.
Indeed. Moving on to the next question. What can I use the NFC feature in my S3 for?
And what is NFC, my dear?
Near field communication.
Near field communication. Indeed, yes. So it's a way of sharing and transmitting data between devices by just simply tapping the device on another device or getting really, really, really close. So it's not like Bluetooth where you have to pair the device. NFC uniquely identifies your device, and you could walk into a shop and you could tap your phone on the till, and you can make a purchase of up to £15. So that kind of idea where your phone becomes your wallet. So you can do. The possibilities are endless. Specifically on the Samsung S3, if you go into your settings on your handset, you can enable your NFC feature. Now, once you enable that, then you could be walking in a shopping center, or you could be walking in an airport, and if you see NFC tags or NFC points around the place, you could tap your phone on that device, and you could maybe receive an advert, receive an MP3. You can receive photos, images. You can receive content from that NFC device or NFC kiosk. So you go into your settings.
Yeah.
There's a NFC tab. You press that option and you enable it, and then you'll see NFC devices appearing as you walk near them.
Question for yourself within the question. Obviously, you travel quite a lot, but have you seen many places which you are actually making use of this feature at the moment?
I've only seen one in an airport where it's really marketing, and they're receiving marketing ads and promotions and audios. There are some shops I've seen where you can actually make a payment with the NFC device.
Yeah.
But like some credit cards nowadays, the debit cards, they have a NFC chip, a sticker you can put on the card, and you just swipe it really close to the device without having to sign or take any money out. It deducts the amount from your wallet. I don't trust it, to be honest. I'd never use that. But interesting, a lot of the Android devices, pretty much most of the new phones are NFC enabled, apart from Apple. Apple have strategically stayed away from this whole NFC technology.
And what's the alternative?
On Apple, there's something called Passbook, where you can download your personal information, like a boarding pass. You can download that into your Passbook, and you see the boarding pass image on your phone, and you swipe that. So a lot of airports now and airlines have that feature where you don't need to print off your boarding pass. You can check it online, and you have an image on your phone, and you hand your phone over. But nowadays you actually swipe the phone yourself.
Really?
On the barrier to walk through.
Wow.
So
pretty nifty.
Similarly, with the new passports, you get a new passport with a chip inside it.
Yeah.
Certainly in Birmingham and Heathrow, when you're arriving from your holidays, rather than queuing up in the long queues, you can go to the passport barriers. If you have a new passport, and in fact, the new passport, how do you know if you have a new passport? So here, I'll just take out my passport.
Okay.
You'll see on the front, underneath the word passport, there's a symbol. That symbol is a new style passport, which is an electronic passport. In fact, you can just open that on your photo page, put it on the device, and you smile, say cheese, and the barrier's open. And there you go. You've avoided all the queues.
Nice.
Yeah.
So no other checking, no nothing. You just do that.
Correct. The ironic thing is, coming back from Prague last year, we were in Birmingham Airport.
Right.
Then we were actually in Heathrow Airport, and the queue for the electronic barriers was longer than the normal queue. So we just went to the normal queue.
Oh, it defeats the purpose of it then.
Yeah, exactly. So so NFC is quite a cool feature.
Well, in terms of a local basis, I've seen it at Boots the other day. Boots saying that they're gonna have it's coming soon signs with it. You can just swipe it across and pay for whatever you want. Obviously, like I said, up to £15. That's what the limit is. I believe that's what you said. And also, I've heard rumours that post office might be doing it as well. So that's gonna be
Yeah.
pretty big. It's a post office take on board.
And, and what would be really, really cool, an app for somebody to develop or a feature, it shouldn't be too difficult, is for our masjid to actually donate whenever you're in the masjid, rather than having to write a check. Or sometimes some people just don't want to approach the person and say, here's some money, or they might be shy, or there might be a number of reasons they're not responding to the numerous calls for donations. You walk into the mosque, tap on the NFC, you've made your donation.
Well, I just imagined everyone being at Jummah, and rather than the bucket going around, you've got this device.
Yeah.
People are just swiping across with their phones.
Yeah, they walk in and just put in fact, what you do is you make the whole the floor where you read the namaz NFC enabled, so whenever they put their phone on the floor, it's taking a donation.
We're thinking two way ahead for this.
That would be beautiful.
It would be,
Subhanallah.
yeah. Right, moving on to our last final, I guess two questions in one. I am looking for a new camcorder. Price is not an issue. My last one's a bit of an antique now. I have heard you can get ones with CD burners and built-in storages. What's the different sort of camcorders are there? What's the different sort of camcorders available, and what would you recommend?
Okay, so I like this question because it's the person saying price is not an issue. Wonderful. So I wonder how much they do have in their budget. So when you're choosing a camcorder, number of things to really think about in terms of your buying criteria. First thing I'd recommend is what size of camera do you need?
Yeah.
Do you want it to be ultra portable so you can carry it with you in your coat pocket, or do you want one pretty more heavy duty one where that's going to require a specific bag? A lot of the cameras use memory cards, so make sure one option is if you have existing memory cards, you might want to reuse those. And, the memory card is the storage you use to actually record the video you're taking.
Okay.
So there's various types of memory. You've got flash memory. Some of the camcorders have the hard drives in them as well. So the hard disk camcorders can have a huge capacity of 100 gig, 200 gigabytes of storage space, where you can end up recording 1080p footage on your camcorder, and then when you plug your camcorder into your machine, your PC or your laptop, etc., you can copy across the movie. So depending on the format you recorded, it could be an AVI format, or it could be raw footage which you have to convert. Or you can get, like the actual the questioner said, you can get camcorders, which are DVD camcorders, where they take a mini DVD.
Yeah.
Some can take full-sized DVDs. Makes the camera look a bit ugly, I think, in my opinion. But those cameras are nice in the sense you can take a movie and it's recording directly onto your recordable disc. So if you have a rewritable disc, you can use that disc over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And once it's recorded, you can take the disc out, put it in your player, and play it straight away. Excuse me. So a number of things to think about. Quite a few options there. Some on the market today. A few years ago, bought a JVC camcorder with a hard disk drive.
Okay.
And it's still doing the job. It records 1080p, and it's quite still robust. The quality is excellent. But nowadays, you can get I think one of the best ones I've seen based on some of the reviews on Wix and some of the websites. There's a Sony are doing one. It's the HDR CX740. So comes in at around £1,000, £980, £990.
Mm-hmm.
But all the reviews say this is the bee's knees, as they say. It ticks all the boxes in terms of recording in low light.
Yeah.
In terms of actual functionality, it can record 2 minutes of 1080p. That's full HD footage, and the battery can record continuously for 110 minutes. So pretty nice battery options there as well. So as an all-round camcorder, you've got the CX740. One thing to consider, if you have you're looking for a new mobile phone, then some of the handsets we see nowadays can record in 1080p as well. So the Sony Xperia that's coming out in couple of weeks, has a fantastic video recording capability as well. The video on the iPhone I use regularly. That's got pretty useful. All depends on your kind of requirements for the video. If you're going to be thinking of taking some serious videos for weddings and you're going to be producing videos and DVDs and so on, then you probably need to get a Sony type of camera rather than a fun type of camera in your handset. Sticking with Sony, so you've got the 740s. The CX740 is quite cool. Even cooler is the PJ740.
Ooh.
And what this camera is, it's the same as the CX740. It can record 1080p. It's got a flash memory. You can add in more memory sticks. The PJ740 has an inbuilt projector. And what that means is when you've taken your footage, you can project the footage onto a white wall,
Right.
onto your TV. So you don't need to actually take out the wires and the cables, plug them into your TV or your device. It's like a mini projector. Really cool feature.
Hmm.
You're not jumping up. I'm jumping up and down. So an inbuilt projector in a camcorder.
That is pretty awesome and pretty neat, to be fair.
Yeah, so lots of options. What I say is go into a store and try it out. So, some camcorders can be quite heavy, so after holding them for an hour, your hands are just pretty much shaking all over the place. The main thing with the Sony one is got really good stability technology, so even if the slightest of vibration won't affect the actual image. So that's a big thing with handheld camcorders. Any movement of the hand can really ruin the video. So when you do buy a camcorder, make sure you buy a good quality tripod as well. The cost can add up if you want to buy some accessories with a good case, tripod, some extra storage. So go to the stores and try them out first.
Awesome. And that is pretty much our last and final question of the day. Is there anything else you want to say?
Yeah, so I started off, we talked about media players, just to really quickly, I know we're overrunning again, so I'll be really quick. So media players, I've come across what I think is probably one of the best media players, certainly the best one that I've actually used.
Mm-hmm.
It allows you to play Blu-rays, of course, and it plays pretty much every format of video file, so from an AVI to an MKV to a full Blu-ray image.
Okay.
So what some people tend to do is when they buy a Blu-ray, they don't want to constantly use that Blu-ray for wear and tear. You can make that into an image, and when you play the image, a lot of the players just can't play that image because it might be 40, 50 gigabytes in size.
Yeah.
So there's a Dune series of players, and there's a Dune H1, a B1, D1. Very similar. Some have a Blu-ray display, some don't. But what they do is they pretty much all stream content from a USB disc all across your network share, and it does what it says on the tin. It can pretty much play every single file format. So I kind of got one of those and been really impressed with it. So better than the Apple TV. Apple TV, you'll struggle with playing non-iTunes media, but this little baby really is an impressive piece of technology. It's a Dune, D-U-N-E. Search for Dune player.
D-U-N-E.
Yeah, Dune, as in the movie Dune.
How much are they worth?
They start at around £200 and going upwards.
Are you buying quality, eh?
Yeah, it's quite expensive, but if you pay for peanuts, what do you get?
Peanuts.
No, you get monkeys.
Monkeys? I don't want monkeys, I want peanuts. I'd rather have the peanuts than the monkeys. Jeez.
If I'm talking about nuts, completely off topic, Victoria Market has got a fantastic store that sells the best dry fruit. So if you want to get banana chips or walnuts or almonds, any type of dried fruit, apricots, figs, it's a fantastic store.
Well, there you go, Victoria Market. You got some free advertising.
Yeah. So, can I say that? I better slap my wrist. I can't really mention names, can I?
Oh, great. Too late now.
Okay.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you for coming on here. Thank you for your time once again.
Wonderful once again, and keep the Facebook group active as always. I'd like the people who've asked questions in the past 3 or 4 weeks to maybe let us know how they're getting on. We'd like to see anything else in this particular segment. So, as always, we're here to help. That's the service we are providing.
Exactly. All right, Brother Ghufran. We'll meet once again, inshallah, next week.
Inshallah, same time, same place.
Yep. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.